Hello and welcome back to Cattenvîr. We have missed you. Not much time has passed since you last left, or at least not in-game. It has actually been about a day or so since my last recording. I haven't gone ahead and built everything off screen because I received quite a lot of comments that people would like to see as much as I was willing to show them. So yeah, we're going to be doing a fair bit in this episode of just setting up the initial base. This little area will be supporting our dwarves as they prepare the main fort. So we're still shy one bed. I think we need a couple more thrones. In fact, 4 thrones and 4 tables to set up. Oh, no, that's not what we want. Press C to cancel that. We want 4 tables and 4 chairs for our dining room. I think we've also got a door. Fantastic. Now, a few people have given me comments, tips, and things that I should look into doing, and thank you very much for that. Some people have also asked, I think it was what was it? Larry, I Hate You, has asked to whether or not I wanted that sort of advice, and I certainly do. The only thing I would request is, if it's advice that you think will have pertinence to what I'm doing at the moment or will be doing in an episode or two, or it's a common pitfall, then by all means lay it on me. But if it's something, if you're just going for an info dump, because I know some people really know Dwarf Fortress, and I certainly haven't played it for a while, so there's lots of things I don't know about it, but I wouldn't really want the comment section to explode with multiple paragraphs worth of advice about stuff that I'm probably not going to get to for a long while. But one of Larry's tips was to get my turkey hens laying as soon as possible. So I'm going to hollow out that little room there. We're going to have some nest boxes built, and for that I'm actually going to need a crafts dwarf workshop. So let's get that built now as well. We'll put this right here as well. Make that of shale. We're running low on shale, actually. Might need to look into that. The other thing I would like to do is I'd like to tell this stockpile to stop receiving stone and wood. We're going to disable stone and we're going to disable wood, and we're going to just leave that for now to accrue in this stockpile. And while we're doing that, we may as well get the rest of our dwarves doing things, because we do have a couple of idlers when there are no haul-in tasks. Let's get these bushes collected, and we'll also get the trees collected from the same area. So that'll give Metasapia and Flying Stapler something to do. But I would also quite like Metasapia to make me some wheelbarrows, if she would be so kind. Now, I'm not sure how much wood that requires. Probably only 1, though. Right, Evelyn is currently working. Oh, she's done fabulously with the tables and chairs, to be fair. Oh, Stonesmith, what happened? Evelyn has run out of things that she can make. We're going to need Evelyn to get some stone from in there, and if she can't get enough of it, I may actually have to do a little bit of strip mining just to get materials. So we're going to need a door as well, so go ahead and make that. And whilst you're doing that, I'm going to place some tables. Now, I typically have the same sort of style for placing tables. That is a cluster of 4 tables with 4 chairs surrounding it. I try to avoid having a single table object with more than 1 seat next to it, because I'm under the impression that that will cause some issues, because when a dwarf goes to sit down at a table with food, he'll place his food on the table and then eat from that. So obviously if there was more than 1 dwarf doing that, then it would just result in a big mess on the table. Possibly some spillages, some stains on clothes, some fist fights, some blood on clothes, some people having to go to Revocaine, and that would just go downhill from there, really. Let's get this door built for us. But yes, it does look like we are going to do a little bit more mining to get the materials we need. So let's have Evelyn. No, we're not going to worry too much about sculpting the land just yet. Let's get Evelyn to mine out an area that we're going to use for another stockpile. And while she's doing that, if I can get Metasapia to make some bins, that would be amazing. Now, bins, as I've mentioned, are like the crates in No Moria, but unlike crates in No Moria, We didn't start with any, for one, but there are far fewer things that'll fit into a bin than would in a crate. For example, you can't put wood in a crate. So we're going to leave this stockpile, for example, is not going to have any bins at all in it. But we will need them to tidy up the stockpiles around the rest of the fort. Furniture obviously doesn't go into bins, so anvils, chairs, things like that. The bars will do, though, and it's actually a pretty good idea to have your bars stocked like that. Now, where is Meta Sapia? Is she chopping down trees? Yes, she is. Okay, fair enough. And Aavak's actually doing some work. Fantastic, Aavak. Now, have we got... No, we're going to need more tables. Let's see. Where are you, Evelyn? What are you doing? Ah, she's drinking. Okay, well, I guess we'll let you do that. But another thing that was asked in the comments is what the numbers were on the screen. Now, I'm assuming what was meant is the numbers on the far right. And what will happen is if I'm moving through the Z levels, you'll notice these numbers change. The one on the top is relative to ground level. So it's 0 on ground level and starts going into higher green numbers as you move up through the sky. And you'll notice there's like a little scroll bar sort of thing that gives you an idea of that. The brown part is underground, the blue part is above ground. And as you go down, it goes into higher red numbers. The lower dark number that currently is 138 is the total height in the world. So at ground level, in this embark location, we are 138 tiles above the bottom of the world. So, yeah, we've got plenty of room to expand downwards, though obviously a lot of that is going to be lava, and we're not really going to be trying to mine through lava. We probably will be pumping it up to make lava moats and other such things at some point. A sip of tea to sharpen my mental axe there. Now, we've got plenty of rock, which is great, because we need 2 more tables. One of them will be for Aavak, so he's got an office. We also need 2 nest boxes, and we want to make those out of rock. There we are, nest box. We may as well go ahead and move a little pen pasture area in here for the... Oh, no, that's a pit pond. For the turkey hen and gobbler, and get them moved over as well. But Evelyn has done her work now, which is fantastic. We won't worry about a door on that little storage room, but what we are going to do is we're going to set that up now to be a proper storage area. Yeah, we'll make the whole thing. No, damn it. Even though it's efficient, I can't help it. I don't like it when it's pushed right up against the walls. It looks wrong. Actually, I've done the wrong thing. I've made that a zone, so I need to get rid of that. Right, we want to go to P for stockpile. And again, we want this stockpile to pretty much take everything, but we are going to be making a few exceptions. Firstly, we don't want any food. That is already going to be stored elsewhere. But at the same time, I guess we do want it to be put in there if it's got nowhere else to go. So that because food in a stockpile does not rot. Food outside of a stockpile will. Depending on the heat, depending on the temperature, it'll rot quite quickly. So you definitely want to have it always in a stockpile. We will use it for furniture. We will not use it for corpses or refuse of any sort. No, actually, okay. We will have the skulls, bones and shells and things like that brought in here. So we'll permit those. We won't have stone. We will have ammo, coins, bars, blocks, gems, finished goods, leather, cloth, weapons and armor. We won't have animals because, well, we may as well, I guess. It's not really going to make it much of a difference, honestly. It'll store... If you look at the bottom right, you often have additional options. Oh, well, sometimes you do, I guess. So armor, for example, there's usable and there's unusable. Dwarves are a certain size. They're quite short. They're quite stocky. A small creature like a goblin is quite narrow, so armor that'll fit a goblin will not fit a dwarf. That is common in No Moria, but in Dwarf Fortress there's many, many different races. There's elves, there's humans, and with modding there can be an untold number of races that you'll be trading with or fighting against, kobolds, such So you definitely want to keep an eye on that. So you can use your stockpiles to only store things that your dwarves can use, or specifically things that they can't use. For example, you might have a stockpile next to a trader's a marketplace, which only stored unusable things, so you could just get rid of it when the trader arrived. Likewise, animals in cages is what it means by animals, so you could store empty cages here as well, or empty animal traps, things like that. Food has prepared meals, and we're by and large just going to leave those all turned on the way they are. And we'll set that up there. And now let's have a quick look at this. No wheelbarrows. Okay, we want this one to take from this workshop, this stockpile over here. So there we go. So now we've got the food stockpile taking from there. Actually, we will also want... Ooh, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this keyboard little by little. We also want this one to take from that one as well, just in case this one ends up with a couple of leftovers. So there we go. That should all work now. Alright, and this one we will eventually decommission, but for now I don't know how much room we're going to have. So, have we got another table? No, we don't. Damn it. It looks like Evelyn is actually making the nest boxes, which isn't too bad. Hopefully the bins are going to be sent down there quite soon. Actually, for that, I guess I should tell this one not to have any bins. So, capital E will reduce the amount of barrels that can be used here, and capital C reduce the amount of bins to 0. Capital V will set it to the maximum amount of bins that could be stored in this place, and the lowercase c and V and E and R will move them by increments of 1. But that should be all we need. Now, the nest boxes are going in there, and actually one of the beds. Now, you saw me set up the bedroom, the dormitory in the last episode, but one thing to note is that you can't just queue over any of the beds and see that it's in the dormitory. Even though these beds are technically in the dormitory, this is the one that actually defines the room. So you have to hover over that specific bed, and it's the same for any other multi-furniture room, like a dining room with multiple tables. You set it up from a specific table, and that one table will be the one that controls it all. In the past, I have used different types of, like when I've been working with stone, for tables, for example, I've made one of the tables a different color and put it in a central area so that I know, right, that's the one that I need to worry about for dealing with that. Have we got everything done? I think we might do. So let's try and build these nest boxes then. And hopefully these turkey hens can start laying eggs. Or rather, she will start laying eggs and the gobbler will sit by, all prideful. I'm not sure if turkey gobblers are particularly prideful, but I imagine they are. Oh, it is now summer. Right, well, we're going to have to wait for a little while whilst the game autosaves. I have got it set up to do seasonal autosaves, so you will occasionally see this happening. In the future, what I might do, I'm talking at the moment, but in the future I'll probably just cut out the point where it goes into autosave, because it can take a little bit of time. Especially with the larger embarks, the more data it's got to save, so the more creatures that are on in the area, the more land that is represented as part of your embark location, the longer it's going to take to do that save. So do keep that in mind. Come on, quickly build the other nest box, please, before someone tries to pilfer those eggs. If they did, it wouldn't be too much of a problem ultimately, but I would rather it be built soon. Ah, there we go. Fantastic. Quick, get down there. And then get out. Right, okay. Let us quickly set this to forbid. Now, this is the option on the doors. And this is the same way as dealing with anything. You press Q to have a look and you can adjust its settings. L forbids or permits passage, and that's to dwarves. O, with keep tightly closed or make pet passable, allows pets to move through, so the tamed creatures. We don't want pets to move through, and we don't want dwarves to move through. And S allows you to set it or unset it as internal. Now, I'm hoping these nest boxes will have some eggs in it. No? Oh, no, it hasn't been built. Damn it all. Well. If we hit enter, I may be able to see what's inside it. Has it got anything inside? No? No, it's just a nest box. Damn it. Well, I'm going to have to open that door again then. I imagine they're going to grab the eggs right away, because Any idle dwarves will immediately spot, oh, we've got something we can do, and rush in and nab the nest box. Did I make the second nest box? Perhaps I didn't. Let me just have a quick look here. No, it looks like we should have one. Let's see then. Is there another nest box lying around somewhere? Because this one needs furniture hauling. Suspend. Okay. Oh, I guess we're just waiting for that. It must be in the craft store's workshop again. Yeah, there we are. Okay, someone's noticed it though, I think. Possibly. But as you can see, those big X's, they are the bins, and they're being carried in and loaded up, which is fantastic. And there we go. Now I can actually close this off and give those turkey hens some privacy. There you are. Now, lay to your heart's content. Now, the bins, people will start filling those up with various things like the bars. Again, the seats won't be stored in them. Have we got another table yet? No. Still working on that, it looks like. I want to get that office built soon so that Aavak actually has something to do, because right now he's not doing much of anything. But while we're waiting, let's have a quick look. They've already grabbed some turkey hen eggs. Damn it all. Oh well. I guess we'll just use those to cook something sooner or later. In the meanwhile, though, I think we're just waiting on Evelyn to construct this table. I think we've got one of them now. I'm going to use this one to go ahead and build the office. In fact, Evelyn, no, she hasn't finished the other one yet. We'll put the chair there so that Aavak is facing people as they come into the room. And build another table. Hopefully that will allow us to get everything set up. Oh no. Actually, Evelyn doesn't need to build another table. You were lying to me. One of the things, if a dwarf has grabbed a table and is moving it to a stockpile, it won't show up as a table in your kingdom's inventory. So be aware of that. What had happened there was someone was carrying the first table over to the initial stockpile, I imagine, and that's why I missed it. Right. We'll make this into a study. You do that from the chair. And this time we're actually going to assign it. We're going to assign it to Aavak. There we go. Now if we go to the noble screen, we should see, yes, instead of a red require, it is now a white require, which shows that it is fulfilled. It can also be a yellow require or an orangey require, and what that means is that it's partially fulfilled. Like, for example, if he needed an opulent office, but I was giving him a meager office, perhaps he could do a bit of his work, but it wasn't fully fulfilled, so he either wouldn't do the work at all, or it would be very, very restricted, or he'd be getting unhappy thoughts, that kind of thing. But he's quite happy with his meager office, so perhaps he will actually sit down and start doing some work now, which would be fantastic. And on that note, I actually think we've got most everything we need in this area. Let's just have a quick sweep of the area. There's a blue leaf there. What's that? Oh, well, I don't know. But that is pretty good. Now, we may get migrants before too long. It is the 10th of Hematite in the year 126, early summer. So what we're going to want to do, as I may have mentioned previously, I want to get... One of the first things that I want to get going is another worker to help Evelyn with mining. I may have mentioned that in the first episode. I may not have. But we're going to need some more charcoal. We should already have enough copper bars. So as soon as Plump has made that charcoal, we'll get him to make another pick. And then that'll be there. Sometimes migrants will actually come with the tools they need, but oftentimes they don't. Now, it seems that quite a few people are sleeping at the moment, or drinking. We've got store and bin, drink, sleep, update stockpile records. So that's going to be Aavak for a while now, just sat in there counting things. Bless him. I imagine once people actually start using those bins properly, it should start making that stockpile a little bit more efficient. It might take them a little while to realize what they're doing, though. And I see a rock in there, which I'm not too happy about. Just make sure. Yeah, okay, well, I guess that'll be alright for now. Right, well, we'll have Evelyn do some work now. Let's see. I think the first thing we're going to do is remove some of these ramps, really. So we're going to use the Z for removing ramps. And we're going to take the ramps from about here back. Let's grab all of these. I don't want things attacking us from above, basically. We'll take it as far as this, I think. about there. Now just make sure that she's not going to be trying to remove a ramp that I don't want her to mess around with, like the ones in the water. No, looks okay. Right, Evelyn should be able to get to work on that. Actually, thinking about it, I'll actually get rid of this because I want a little bit of room around the fort. So we'll cut that back a little bit. But Evelyn can get rid of those ramps now, and then we'll start looking to build some walls. But once Flying Staplers has actually gathered enough plants, we're going to try and get a farm going once Sheilab has been able to brew a couple of them. And on that note, let's check that out. Have we got any? No, none yet. Though now it looks like Aavak's actually done enough counting to give some exact numbers. We can see that we've got 33 seeds, 62 drink, and 52 other things. 147 food, and you might be wondering, what's going on there? Well, that is basically a combination of everything. But if we look in this, we can actually get some proper measurements of exactly what type of food we've got, whether it's stuff that the dwarves are really going to enjoy eating or not. And we can see that we've got a bunch of prepared meals. Now that we've got accurate counts, we can do some stuff with this. Firstly, you can move across here and you can like forbid or dump or melt things, as I mentioned before. But if you hit tab, you can actually see a detailed readout of exactly what you've got. For example, we've got 2 chinchilla meat biscuits, 10 prepared pond grabber brain biscuits, 10 mountain goat sweetbread biscuits, 10 plump helmet biscuits. They've got a lot of biscuits. That's that's not a very varied diet, really. We've got some wild strawberry biscuits. But you may also notice that there are symbols on either side of the name of what it is. That is relating to the quality. For example, if we hit V here to view, and then V again to see the description, it'll say, this is a stack of 2 well-prepared chinchilla meat biscuits. The ingredients are well-prepared wombat heart and finely minced chinchilla meat. So, well minced. Right, and if we have a look at this one with the minus, it should be something else. This is a stack of, oh no, it's well-prepared pond grabber brain. That's got a value of 260. Well, there's 10 of that. Let's check this one out. That one's got a value of 380 and this has got a value of 260. I'm fairly sure that is the quality. If you see the ones that look like asterisks, those are phenomenally high quality, and things with exclamation marks are usually damaged. You will often see that with various clothing items that your dwarves will wear through. They are wearing clothing, by the way. If we have a look at Evelyn here and we go to inventory, you'll see that, wow, this text is a bit messed up, but you can see that she's got a giant cave swallow leather trousers, giant cave spider silk dress, pigtail fiber robe, blind cave bear leather cloak, giant cave spider silk cap, and quite a lot of detail. These will get damaged over time, and she will need to replace them. Later on, you can have a booming shopping industry. Well, shopping industry, that sounds wrong. Commercial industry going on. Looks like some more of that stockpile is getting sorted out as people are moving the bins around. Right now, what they're doing is a little bit inefficient. They're moving the entire bin to the other stockpile. Well, actually, no. Having said that, Aavak's actually being very efficient. He took the whole bin with him, filled it up entirely of the things that bin could hold, and then took the whole bin back. So that actually makes things a little bit easier. But as you can see, they've managed to fit an awful lot of the stuff that we had lying around into that one little space. So we're going to go ahead now and remove the wagon. We're going to deconstruct it for the wood that it contains. And at this point, I actually feel confident enough to go ahead and remove the stockpile here as well. So let's get rid of that now. Now, we've got Mississippi down there doing pretty good with the chopping wood, honestly. Flying Staplers is taking quite a while to get all of these plants gathered. Now, that is all down to her skill. The higher the skill level, the more things she'll get when she harvests a plant. And also the better the crops when she's farming them. The more crops she'll get back. And generally the speed that it'll happen as well is all dealt with by skill. Now, a couple of people have also asked me to go over the icons I may have already mentioned. But we've got things like this. It's a little bit harder to show because I'm so familiar with the icons, I'm not really sure what won't be obvious to you. And it looks like when we went into that menu, it did mess up the side of the screen a little bit there. But, for example, these are rocks. I imagine you can tell that. And this is wood. And these are trees. And these are shrubs. These little things here. This is our camel, horse. But I imagine what you're looking for is more the symbol icons like these. The X's being bins, for example. This being a nest box. These are gems or various other things like crystals hidden in the stone walls. I think I looked at this before. I think it's sandy clay. Yes. Oh, silty clay loam. And this is a silty clay loam cavern floor. And actually, that has just reminded me I haven't finished setting up the dining room. I really should do that. And let's get some seats going. So we'll have one there. Another one here. There. And there. Once that's all set up, we will have a dining room for our dwarves to enjoy their meals in. And Evelyn is making very short work of the ramps there. Now, as I've mentioned, goblins and anything that might attack you, they're not necessarily going to come with just melee weapons. They can bring bows or crossbows or whatever else type of melee weapons, blow darts sometimes. So you can't rely on just removing ramps so they can't get down to you. You actively need to put a wall that is going to prevent them seeing you. Now, that is going to be very difficult for us up here because if they were, for example, stood on the edge of this, hill at the top there, they would be able to see over any walls. Certainly if they were on this level, like, for example, if someone was stood here and there was a wall right along this wall, then yes, they're not going to see us. But all they'd have to do is climb up here and all of a sudden they'll be able to see over the wall. So I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. Mostly because I tend to make my fort underground anyway. I have a little bit of stuff outside because you can't get away from that. Well, you can if you plan it quite well, but you can like dig massive sinkholes that allow sunlight down to make a grassy floor deep down in the ground, and then put your pasture down there, for example, and then put a little wall up on top because things are not going to be at a steep enough angle to see all the way down, that sort of stuff. But I tend not to do that sort of thing too much. We'll go to the caves and we'll pasture our animals down there with all the cave grass and various things. Revocane has also pointed out you can make it so that trees and shrubs grow. Herbivores will eat shrubs, not just grass. All you need to do is like muddy a large enough cavern and things will gradually grow over time, which is actually pretty cool. It'll be cave stuff that'll grow, so it'll be like tower caps, massive tree-like mushrooms rather than, I don't know, oak or whatever. But that is something we may look into as well. Now, where's Evelyn? What are you up to? She's on a break and no one else has a job. So we need to find something for them to do. Oh, I just noticed other. What is other? Oh, yeah, it's still a hoary marmot. Okay. Right then. The next thing we're going to do... I could bring in our workshops or even take them down if I really wanted to. I'm not sure I do want to yet, though. How many bins have we got? Are all of these bins full? Let me just double check this. If you look over it, you can... This is a bar block bin. They'll tend to put things... Like, for example, if you've got a bin with bars in it, you're not going to be putting other things into it. So that's why it's named a bar block bin. Bar block. Really? I would have wished they would have put all that into the same place, honestly. This is a finished goods bin. Another bar block bin. Maybe the bars are quite large. We've got cloth and a gem bin. I think we're going to need more bins, really. So we're going to get Metasepia to make us a couple more, and I'm also going to increase the amount of bins that can be stored in that stockpile. And come over here. Change. No, we don't want to change settings. We just want to increase the maximum bins. Now, with that being done, Evelyn is not... She's on break, so we can't really mine anything out. But I guess we could start on designating things. Let's have a look. And this will be one of the last things I'm going to do. I'm just going to make the designation for the main entrance to our fort. Let's start about here. We'll bring it over. It'll be 3 wide. No, it'll be... We'll make it 4 wide, actually. And then another 2. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that looks okay. Right, let's bring this down to about here. That'll be a long enough main hall, I think. This is going to be the entrance into the fort proper. And as I said, I do like making these things a little bit more swanky. So we'll have these pillars moving down it. Now, I hope this is an even length, otherwise I'm going to have to adjust it. I'll have to bring it down one more. Like so. And the same on this side. This will take a little bit of time for me to do, and I do apologize for that, because I'm probably going to be doing this sort of thing a lot. So, yeah. We'd have the doors in here. I'm not going to mark the doors yet, otherwise Evelyn would become obsessed with carving this out. As much as we might like to have all of the rock that would be in there, we don't want to do it just yet. There will be... I can either have 2 double doors down here, or 1 double door in the middle. Or, yeah, I'll just have 1 double door in the middle. There's no need for anything bigger than that. What we're going to do is I'm going to have a think of what type of rooms we want off here. We're probably going to want some office for our broker. A pretty nice office so that we can have like foreign dignitaries come in and talk with Aavak about trade agreements, which are a pretty big thing when you're dealing with liaisons and making sure that you're making the right sort of thing, because they'll tell you the stuff that they're going to want to buy off you, and you're going to be able to charge a premium for that, so it's quite important. We'll also probably have some sort of barracks. It's not going to be our main barracks, but it's going to be sort of like honor guard sort of thing. The first sort of show of military might when foreign dignitaries are visiting our fort. Down here, we'll have branches coming off, but right at the back here, we're probably going to either have a corridor moving off to the side and then some sort of flanking stairs going down. Let's think. Out here, we may even wall this area off just temporarily and make this a little bit more fortified. And just have like an actual, just a door, but we can then tie up a dog next to it so it'll detect any ambushing creatures trying to get in. So if we tie the, like if we had a small choke point, just a single door, and had a dog just tied up right next to it, then it would usually notice, because anything that's stealthy, anything that's trying to ambush you, will be discovered when it moves too close to any entity. So having a dog tied there will mean that by and large, nothing's going to be able to get into this main section of our like outpost area first off, without us knowing that it's there anyway. And what we'll do, we'll cordon this little place off in the next episode. Just make this a little bit more secure, since we're moving quite a few things inside, and I might even expand this a little bit more off screen. I won't force you to watch that because it took me a little bit longer than I was expecting to get all of that done. But we'll have all of our goods brought in, and then we can properly base out of here. We'll leave some of the workshops outside, though I will decommission our smithing workshops and move them over here as well. But from that point then, I think we'll have Evelyn primarily in the next episode working on this, and hopefully we'll get some migrants soon so that we can actually get some more people to help Evelyn doing that, because it's going to take a very long time with just one dwarf working on it. Actually, before we start on that, I'll have her dig out a well as well. We'll have her go down here and then dig a little way up towards the brook, just so that we've got some fresh water come winter. And then this little place here perhaps can turn into one of the larger barracks, because we could repurpose this then, because it's already got quite a lot of the rooms that would be needed. So we could actually have this repurposed into a proper barracks, have this part be a barracks for training. Yeah, I like that idea. So in the next episode, we'll see how much of that idea I can implement before the time runs out. But hopefully we'll be seeing some migrants soon. Fingers crossed. But I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope you will join us for the next. But until then, do take care.